Hey guys, welcome back to the Hat House. Appreciate y'all tuning back in. Today's video is really a lot about our inventory process. We got to get it cleaned up in the shed because it's going to be cold over the next few days and we don't want to spend a lot of time out there. And also we got a bunch of great sales that are going out as always here at the Hat House. But while making this video, it really reminded me of a couple of instances in my eBay journey where the haters just try to bring you down sometimes. And they try to get at you and they try to tell you how the way you're doing things is not right and how you can do it better. And you spend a lot of time worrying about what other people are thinking about your business instead of just executing the business. Like when I first made this video about our inventory process, I had a long comment, and it basically was like how I was doing it wrong, how I can't store them like that, how much time I'm wasting doing it this way. But I have a really large inventory of hats, and it's not perfect, and nothing's going to be perfect, but I do it the best way that we can, and we really do have a lot of tips in here that could save you some time on storing and managing your inventory. So make sure you check those out. And also, when I first started selling hats on eBay, kind of the first thing people started attacking me, it felt like, and I don't know if you guys ever feel that way, but we started selling hats. I had some really nice hats, some nice new era hats. They were in really great condition. They were beautiful hats. I send them out. I have 60-day free returns. I swear to you, on the 59th day, the guy says these hats are junk. They're terrible, and I want to return them. I'm like, no big deal. They were great hats. I'll take them back. Somebody will buy them. And so we get the hats back. He sends them back in a poly bag, all smashed up, and they're just terrible looking. I can't resell them. And it really felt like, just like the YouTube video, somebody comes in when you first get started and tells you can't do something and how bad you are at it. It felt like that when I first started selling hats too. So I just want you guys to know to not give up, to keep going, and you may not be doing things perfect, but as long as you're making progress, then you're doing the right thing. Now, today's video, we got a bunch of great hat sales. There are some awesome sports snapbacks going on in this lot. I know that there's a San Jose Sharks hat that looks really great. That was a starter hat. It's going to be a really good hat. Y'all want to see that. And then there are just a bunch of other really cool hats that are going out today. I want to make sure you guys check those out. And like I said, we're going to go through our inventory process. We got to get that shed cleaned up, guys, because it's going to be cold and we don't want to spend much time out there. So let's get to the garage and let's see what's sold. All right, first up, guys, you're going to want to hit the like button on this video because this one is worth it. This is a Patagonia hat. It looks like a normal Patagonia hat, which it is, but this one went out for $75. It's a 5-panel. It's kind of a wool blend Patagonia. You want to make sure and look these up and price these Patagonia hats up. I tell you, a lot of times there's a bunch of basic Patagonias out there that go for 10 to 20. This is not one of them. Really good sale right here. $75 on the wool 5-panel Patagonia. Next up was this blank. This is kind of a nylon polyester rope hat. Went out for like $13. Even the blank hats will sell. People will buy these. Next up was a Nike Featherlight hat. It went out for $17. The Featherlights do really well, especially when it gets a little bit warmer here. And people are going to want a lighter running type of hat. These will continue to sell really well. $17 is a good sales price on these. Next up was another one of those Patagonias that was a little different. This one had Built to Endure on the patch. So this one went for $23. Just a regular unstructured dad style hat. Built to Endure on the patch made it a little bit more desirable. Next up was this Minnesota Vikings. This is just a regular Reebok on-field flex fitted hat. It went for $10. Then we had this Nike 5-panel white with the black swoosh. And even though the tag was kind of missing or worn down here, still went for $18. These do pretty well. They sell pretty fast too. Next up was this Boston Red Sox. Pretty cool here. This one was size small, so I took $12 for it, but it was American Needle, and it had these creases, but really cool Boston Red Sox hat. And then you never know when a Timberland hat will sell for $11. This one's going out Just a regular dad hat, Timberland. This Seattle Seahawks New Era camo went for $17. Usually the camo stuff will bring a better price than a regular hat, and $17 is a good price on this one. It was an old beat up Seattle Supersonics beater hat. It was even like ripped on the sides. This one still went for $11. Had the really cool big logo on it. Maybe they're going to try and fix this one up, but either way, pretty cool Seattle Supersonics hat. All right, next up was this funny trucker hat. All men are created equal, free and happy, and then he gets married. And then this Taz hat. These went out for $28 together, combined order. Next up was regular Adidas hat. It went out for $11, just a flex fitted gray Adidas. Next up was a pretty cool Mountain Dew hat. Always looking out for these. This one went for $28. Had a nice Mountain Dew patch on it. It was a little rough on the inside, but not too bad. And it was not on it was just a blank snap as well. But really cool Mountain Dew hat. Next up was this vintage trucker hat. Had the scrambled eggs, leaves on it. Went out for $12. Just kind of an obscure company on here. Not really sure who A.O. Smith water heaters might be, but still a really good looking hat. Next up was this Nike swoosh hat. It was pretty cool. It went out for like $14. Had the swoosh spell out on it. The buyer got a really good deal on this. I think they were a repeat buyer, so I took care of them and gave them a pretty good deal on this hat. It's basically like new. Next up was this Wyoming Centennial Bowl. It was a 3-stripe hat. Went out for $16. It was just on this Made in USA snap. Still pretty cool rope hat right here. Nice little trucker. And a Costa fishing hat. Went out for $10. Had a cool little patch on here. Really clean. All right, guys. Here's our cross-listing hats that are going out. Some of it's a bundle, but what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. About 8 hats going out from cross-listing. Most of it was Poshmark and Macari. I don't think we had any Depop today. So this first one was the Seattle Mariners. It was like a stadium promo hat, giveaway hat. Went out for $12. Still in this really cool color. Went on Macari. Next up was this Roots hat. It went out for $10 on Macari as well. Just a regular dad hat. Next up was this pretty cool Andrew Yang presidential campaign hat. I don't even know who Andrew Yang was, but I guess he had this math hat, and it was kind of hard to find. Went out for $21. Just a regular dad hat. Hard to find. Next up was a combined order that went out on Poshmark for $20. Honestly, I don't remember if I took a $20 offer or what. I usually only do 20% off on my offers on Poshmark, so I'm going to have to research it a little bit. So it would have been about $5 a hat, which I usually don't do, but I've had these for a long time too, so they could have been marked down. There's an MRX. I don't even know what MRX is. So there's an MRX hat. There's a Sutherland. This one was pretty cool. Had the nice patch trucker on it. And this is another cool trucker, CFAC, and tire center hat right here. $20. They got a heck of a deal. And last up was this Black Diamond equipment. Went for $16. And I don't think they make that great of hats, but this style with kind of the duck flexible bill always sells really well. And if you find the Patagonia ones in these, they can sell for good money as well. You'll always want to look those up in this style in Patagonia. But this one went out for $16. All right, guys, it's time to head to the shed today. We've got a lot of condensing to do in the shed. We've kind of put it off. Today is going to be like the warmest day for the next 2 weeks. So it's going to be like
high as 61 today.
61. So we're going to get some work done out here in the shed before it plunges to like 1 degree or something crazy next week. So we want to get everything kind of situated, get it where it needs to be so we can make the time we spend out here as little as possible over the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to kind of walk you through our inventory process in the shed. Again, we've been through it before, but I do want to just kind of, I got a lot of new people and still get a lot of questions about how we store the hats and how we pick the hats. So we're going to kind of go through that with you guys as well. The biggest thing that we're going to do today is we kind of put the hats we've listed over the past 2 or 3 weeks into temporary boxes. So they have like temporary box numbers on them, and we're going to put them into a permanent home. So we have a full rack that have like the temporary box numbers in we've been picking out of. But you'll see when we get inside here that the boxes that we use permanently all start with like an H number, but the temporary boxes might have just a regular number like 50 on them. And so we're going to go inside here. We're going to get this thing condensed and cleaned up and make some room for hats that we've got coming in over the next couple weeks. Okay, this is the rack that I'm talking about. We've got to get all these hats moved into a permanent location, and you can kind of see that they have different kind of numbers on them. We kind of use them as a temporary holding spot, and then we've been putting them all on this rack right here. But we got to get them over here into these permanent hats in the permanent home. Like you can see on here, we have like H125, 128. So we're just going to condense these boxes down. We're going to find the boxes that are pretty empty, and we're going to condense them down. We're going to get some empty boxes, and then we're going to put the temporary boxes into those and give them their permanent home until they get condensed again. So a lot of cleanup to do in the shed this morning to kind of get some room made and to get these temporary boxes out of here. All right, I haven't really ever explained it either, how we pick our orders. We don't really go through the picking much on this channel, but I did want to give you guys a little insight into how we pick them. We sort them all on the eBay app. I can't show you the app because it has customers' names on it, but you can sort it by custom label SKU. I'm sure some of you are familiar with that. But you sort it by custom label SKU, and then like this one, we go in order. We'll pick them all the way around, but this one's H83, so I know that I'm just going to go to box H83, and I'm looking for the vintage cat diesel hat, and it happens to be the third one in here. So I picked the cat diesel hat, and then the next one on the list is H85, and then it happens to be Anaheim Angels hat, and so I pick H85. So I've picked 2 orders in I don't know, less than a minute. It's really quick, and that's why I have it set up this way, and then I can just work down the line in order of the numbers, and that's why today is really important as well. We need to get these boxes in order because it's slowing us down than being in the temporary boxes. We're having to go back and forth and they're not in order. So better get busy. Okay guys, I hope you know by now if there's a chance to put a time-lapse video into one of my videos, I'm gonna do it. So we're getting this shelf cleaned off right here. We're gonna get these hats condensed so that we can make room to put our inventory in there. It doesn't take much time at all, just to kind of put one box into the other and then write it down, and then we can get the shelves cleaned off and get to the next step. Okay, we got the first step done. How did we do?
We did okay. We went through 3 racks. These are all of the boxes that are being moved. So we've got all the empty boxes ready. We're gonna get the boxes that aren't our regular numbers and move those over to the other boxes. Now I'll write those down, and then we'll go inside and switch them in the computer.
Yeah, so now comes the fun part. We'll get those moved over. We made enough room too, so we have some extra regular numbers, we'll call them. So when it's really cold this next week, we won't have to be messing around and moving things around too. So next phase, we'll get that rack cleared off over there, and it'll be completely empty, and then we'll see what we got left over. And before I get the comment, I know guys, it would be a lot easier just to put the hats into the box that they would go in to begin with. But like everybody, we get a little behind sometimes. We have to take this extra step to get our inventory straightened out. Okay, we got done. How long did that take us?
It took us about 9 minutes.
9 minutes. We got the entire rack cleared off. We got all of them into a proper home, and then it's probably going to take us it's a little bit longer to actually move them over in the computer because the computer moves so slow. Probably take us about 15 to 20 minutes to move the 20 or so boxes that we have to move all of the custom SKUs over to their new home. But then we'll have this rack completely cleared off. We still have, show you over here, we still have some room on this rack where we have some H boxes left over, so we'll be able to just put our new inventory in there, and then if we need to use this other empty rack over here, we will use it, but I think we still got a lot of condensing we can do in this shed, and we could probably go through each rack and get about half of it cleared off. So that's how we condense our inventory. That's how we get all of it organized, and we keep it separated. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. Always happy to help. All right, let's see what's going on in this bunch. First was this AFTCO, American Fish and Tackle Company. This is usually sells really fast. There's not usually a whole lot of them on the market, so they sell quick. It's not that special of a hat. This one was pretty clean, had a nice patch on it, but $15 on this one. Next up was this New York Yankee Sports Specialties Fitted Hat, missing a size. Still went for $18. A nice little vintage hat right here. Hopefully it fits them well, because it's a really cool hat, and it's all wool. They'll enjoy this one. All right, next up was this vintage Cat Diesel Power. Went for 20 bucks. Pretty nice full mesh. Nice little vintage hat right here with a nice patch on it. Cat hats usually sell for around 20. If you get them in awesome condition, then you'll price them up to the 30 to 40 range, but nice little sell here. Next up was this Anaheim Angels New Era Fitted. Went out for about 15 bucks. It was kind of a little on the smaller side, 7 1/4, but it was really cool. All black with the black logo on it. All right, cover your ears on this one. If you can figure out what this one says, drop a smiley face down in the comment section. I won't say it out loud, but this hat, I think it sold for $15. I've sold these for $20 to $30 in the past. This one just took a little bit longer to sell. Is pretty funny, and you gotta be sideways to read it sometimes. Next up was this Yeti Coolers. Went out for $11. Nice little camo Yeti Cooler hat. Next up was this nice vintage Lyman Richie Corporation. It was missing the foam, but still really cool, really nice condition. I went for $20. Next up was this beautiful San Jose Sharks. This was a starter vintage natural wool hat. Had the side hit of the NHL on the side. Really good hat. Had this one priced up for a while. Took the $40 offer. I think I had it priced around $60. Took the $40 offer on this one. They got a really cool hat right here, and it's in beautiful condition. Next up was this nice REI trucker hat, kind of foam. It was super clean on the inside. Went for $12. Really cool REI hat. Next up was I Am Groot. What is this? Guardians of the Galaxy. Brain fart for a second. Oh, it says on the label right here too. I Am Groot, a little tree guy. I went out for $9. Next up was this McDonald's hat. I am always amazed how fast these McDonald's hats sell. This is just like a regular McDonald crew hat. Went for $13. Sold pretty quick. They never sit around very long. They always sell between $10 and $15. So it's an easy, quick flip. Sometimes you can get a Vero on some of these companies. Will come through and do a sweep and see what merchandise they have on the eBay. I have never encountered it myself, but I know there are some companies that will. So you just want to kind of be careful. But McDonald's is not one that I've run into as far as like employee hats. Next up was this Pendleton fedora hat. It was a little out of shape and kind of small. So it went for it was size 6 7/8. If you can see the size. But it went for like $15. If it had been in great condition and a little bit bigger size, I probably could have got more for it. Next was this Under Armour hat. Just a regular flex fit Under Armour. Size small, so it's kind of small. Went for $10. Next up was this Thrasher hat, and these are kind of up and down too. This one went for $18. Some Thrasher hats you can get a little bit more. I haven't exactly figured out, because I've sold them at different price points on all of them. I haven't exactly figured out which ones go for more. So as soon as I figure that out, I will let you guys know. Went out on Depop for $18. Next up was this Honda hat, nice corduroy Honda hat. Went for $35 on Poshmark. Really nice sell right here. Super clean Honda hat. Really glad this sold, and our cross listing is paying off. Next up was this vintage Illinois Fighting Illini hat. Awesome wool on the Young and Tag. This is, I called it like a 2-bar hat. Had these 2 bars on it. Went for $30 as well on Poshmark. Really nice sale right here on a nice vintage sports hat. All right, one more tip on shipping, and it's this USPS Priority Box. And Mary just reminded me that these were going out on Poshmark, so I might as well use one of these free boxes. It is 7.25 by 7.25 by 6.5 size USPS Priority Box. Save you 50 cents a box. May not seem like a lot, but you start shipping a bunch of hats, those dollars can add up quickly. So we're going to use these boxes to ship out on Poshmark, and can't beat a free box. All right, next up was this cool Coors Winterfest 1987 hat. It went out for $17 on Mercari, and it was on this Designer Pro tag. The mesh in it and the foam in it was still really good. Super clean white hat. Great sale. All right, next up on Poshmark as well. Poshmark is banging right now. This one went for $34. It was a really nice 7 5/8 Toronto Blue Jays. This was kind of a suede material. Had this patch on the side. $34 on Poshmark. Really great sale right here. Awesome, beautiful hat. And last up was a combined order on Depop. $25 for these two hats. A Florida Seminoles strapback hat, and then a Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl champion hat, regular dad hat. Good sale, $25 for those two. Going out.